Recently, I had an opportunity to have a conversation with a really good friend of mine who has a daughter who is on her way to college. Having a son in college, I felt really qualified to have this conversation, but she expressed to me her frustration that her daughter wasn't focused on the future. As a matter of fact, she said that her daughter is all over the place. So, of course, I asked, what is it that your daughter wants to study? What is she interested in going into? And her reply was, she wants to sing. And of course, I'm waiting for the rest of this because having a singular goal or dream doesn't sound like you're all over the place. It sounds like, she's uh, pretty aware of what she wants. So, of course, I bring that to her attention. It sounds like she's pretty clear about what she wants. Why would you say that she's all over the place? And she said, that's not a goal. That's a dream. And, you know, she's too old to be having these dreams. She needs goals. She needs a real job that pays real money, something that is not going to be, a, a million to one shot. And I can't lie, I immediately thought of my son. And I immediately thought to myself, man, I hope that I did not relay that same message to him when it came to his dreams, when it came to the things that he wanted to do in life, his hopes, his wishes. I hope that I didn't shoot his dreams out of the sky because I felt like they were unattainable, that they were too lofty, or that they weren't goal oriented. And it got me to thinking about when we were children, or when I was a kid, and how it was okay to dream. As a matter of fact, people would ask you all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it didn't matter what the answer was. It didn't matter how outlandish the answer was. You could want to be an astronaut. You could want to ride unicorns. You could want to be a king in a castle. You could be anything you want, and people would entertain that desire. They say, oh, wow, that sounds great. Or, ooh, that sounds fun. Or, I bet you can do it if you really want to. And then something happens along the way. And whether it's because we dream and don't see those dreams come to fruition, or we have someone do exactly what my friend did to her daughter, we put this block, this barrier on not just our dreams, but our ability to dream. And we start to create goals that we can only, we'll only create goals that we can see. We only create goals where we can see the roadmap on how to get from point A to point B. And that's not how it works. You can have whatever you want. And I'll go to my grave saying this. And of course, my friend, when I tried to explain this to her, she was like, oh, Tony, I don't want to hear about this whole manifest destiny, I have everything you want in life, stuff that you try to sell other people on Facebook. She's like, I'm in the real world, and in the real world, you have to have goals and a plan. You have to execute a plan, and that's how you get the things that you want. And my thing is, that's exactly what I've been saying. I never said, or nor do I believe or subscribe to the idea that dreams are a result of rubbing a lamp and or asking a genie for three wishes. No, I believe that dreams and wishes and desires are all just goals that have not yet received a plan. So it got me to thinking, how do I illustrate my belief when it comes to having anything you want? How do I show that this is actually very possible if you use a systematic approach to it? And the reality is it's not that hard. It's very simple. And we've been doing it our whole lives. It's just that when we get to certain dreams, certain desires, certain hopes, all of a sudden we put limitations on them because we can't figure out how to get there. So let me show you this right quick. So here in the middle, I have dreams, hopes, and desires. Now this could be anything. Anything that you can conjure up, anything that you can create in your imagination, right? So you can dream for wealth. You can dream for love. You can dream for, the ability to travel, or whatever the case may be. All of these are just dreams, hopes, and desires. Now, in order for these to become goals, that you can actually achieve, then you're going to have to first be specific. The dream of love is way too broad in order for you to turn that into a goal. Instead, you have to be very specific about what type of love you want to attain and from who. So, I want to experience love from a woman who looks, like this, and who has these attributes and these characteristics, and she believes she has these values, and so forth and so on. And I can even get so specific as to say how tall I want her to be, or how, what her education is like, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I describe not only the woman, but the love that I want from her. I want her to love me unconditionally. I want her to be excited about me. I want her to have deep and meaningful conversations with me, so forth and so on. I'm writing all of these things down because I'm being specific about what I'm dreaming, hoping, and desiring for. Same thing with money. Don't wish or don't hope for money. Don't dream of money, because it's not finite. There's no tangible part of money. Money can be, rich is a very subjective concept. I've traveled all around the world, and I've seen people who are rich in America, and if you take that same wealth and take it to somewhere like Dubai, or take it somewhere like Saudi Arabia, and you're barely getting by. So don't just wish for money. Don't just dream of money. Dream of what money can do for you. I dream, or I have a desire to buy a house, and then be specific. I want a house in Sienna Plantation. I want it to be 4 bedrooms. I want it to be on this amount of land. Very goal, or very descriptive, so they can become a goal, and then give all of that a time frame. Right. The purpose of the time frame is really about testing your true desire for the goal. Okay. Without a time frame, then a goal is really just a wish with a plan. That's all it really is. You need to have a time frame. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to meet that time frame. It just makes it a little easier to be more realistic, and especially when it comes to making sacrifices. If I decide I want to buy a house in 2 years, then I know that there are sacrifices that I'm going to have to make over the course of 2 years in order for me to reach that particular goal. All right. So we have our dreams, we have our hopes, we have our desires, we've made them tangible, and now they're goals. Now what? 3 things. 1, you got to ask for it. Oh, here we go, Tony, with the ask the universe, ask God. I get it. I understand. It sounds all metaphysical and all, whatever, but there's actually a psychology behind the concept of asking for what you want. By asking for what you want, especially using words, speaking those words or writing them down, what it does is it makes it easier for you to envision having it. If you keep it only in your mind, then it only stays in your mind. But when you speak it, you're speaking it not just into existence to the universe or to God or whatever you believe, you're speaking it also to yourself. Because a part of asking for something means that you are making a statement about how you're going to align all of your actions, you're going to align all of your thoughts, you're going to align all of your behavior to the goal that's based on the dream that you have. So there's an actual psychology about asking for what you want. I believe that you should write it down. I believe there's validity in speaking it, even if it's just speaking it out to yourself. Why? Because reading your words, right, and hearing your voice say the things that you want, it allows the next step to be a little more easy for you, and that is believe. Not just believe in the idea of having what you want. Believe that you are able to receive everything that you want. You are able to, you are worthy of getting the things that you want. Now, this is where we lose a lot of people. A lot of people ask for the world. They say it, they envision it, they speak it, and then once it gets to believe, they can't see themselves with it. They don't have faith, and that's all believe is. And the definition of faith, and I want to read it to you. The definition of faith from the dictionary is the complete trust or confidence in someone or something. That's the faith, the complete trust and confidence in someone or something. I like the biblical definition of faith a lot better. That comes out of Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is what takes the abstract, the thoughts, right, and puts them into a concept that you can actually experience. You can have an actual emotional experience with the things that you have asked for because you have the faith that you're going to receive them. Faith can be strengthened and it can be renewed all the time, right? So when you have faith and you believe that you're going to get something or that you're going to receive what you asked for, then you start to experience it with your emotions and with your senses. In your mind's eye, you can see it. Not only can you see it, you can see yourself experiencing it. Using the house, you can see the house, you can envision the house, and it may even help to go on the internet and find a similar house or one that you actually like so you can see it. This is all the concept of a vision board. You're seeing it, that way you're experiencing it, you're experiencing the emotional connection to it. You can see yourself inside the house, you can see yourself cutting the yard, you can see the furniture inside the house, and you can feel what it feels like to sit on the couch and have your feet up and watching the game. All of these things are strengthening your faith that you can have what you want. But if you don't ask for it out loud, if you don't write it down, then it's hard sometimes to have faith. It's hard to believe that you actually can get it. And again, this is where we lose so many people. Little children have faith in the idea that they are going to get a unicorn. And you cannot convince them otherwise. And it isn't until you're able to convince them that's when they start dreaming on a lower plane. It's because someone has convinced them that their faith, their belief is all for naught. Not me. If you can conceive it, if you can envision it, you can speak it, then believe that you can have it. The other thing faith does is it keeps you on course. Because again, I do not believe that I don't believe that manifesting destiny means I speak it and then all of a sudden it appears. I don't believe that. I believe that having faith is what reinforces the idea that you can have it, so that when you hit roadblocks or you hit obstacles along the way, those things don't stop you. They're not going to tell you you can't have this because of this, because of your credit. You can't get this job because of your education. You can't get this woman because of your height. You can't get this man because of your weight, or whatever the case may be. Faith and believing that it's mine already. I've already experienced it. I've seen it in my mind's eye. I can smell it. I can hear it. I can taste it. I can feel it. Then when you have to do certain things in order to execute the plan that you set out, that for the thing that you saw, the thing that you asked for, your faith puts strength and purpose behind those sacrifices you have to make. It justifies them, right? So if buying a house is my dream, and it's a goal that I've asked for, I've created a plan, and now I've asked for this goal, then whatever I have to do, I have faith that all of my actions support my goal. So if I have to, pay off credit cards, if I have to eat, a pot of beans and rice for a week, whatever I have to do in order to, change my lifestyle, whatever, anything that I'm doing, those obstacles that I'm seeing along the way, my faith says it's already mine. So this is just a part of it. This is just a part of the process. That's all it is, okay? And then finally, the last thing you have to do is receive it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, that's simple. You don't need an instructions on how to receive something, but receiving the things that you want in life is not like receiving a Christmas gift or receiving a birthday card. Receiving the things you want in life requires gratitude, because it's not going to come to you all at one time. You have to be gracious and grateful for every single step along the process. Every single step of your plan that you execute, no matter how long it takes, you're grateful for, achieving that particular step. And it's happened in my life where I'll dream for something, right? I'll ask for something. I'll speak something into existence. I'll believe in it, right? And then years later, where I forgot all about it, suddenly I realize I've received it. I'll give you a perfect example. Before I left the Navy, in 2008 or 2009, I can't remember. Anyway, before I left the Navy, I came home to Houston, and I was living in California at the time. I came home to Houston, and I toured a loft downtown. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to live in a loft. I just think that's the coolest thing in the world. And I saw myself as this bachelor, just chilling in this really nice loft overlooking the city and all of these things. And so I envisioned this. I went to the website. I toured the property. I looked at where I would put my furniture and what kind of furniture I would want. And I went back to Houston and went back to work as a corpsman in the Navy. Years later, I got out of the Navy. I decided to transition back home to Houston, and I found myself one evening sitting on the balcony, overlooking the city, smoking a cigar, realizing I am exactly where I envisioned myself years before. I did it. I manifested destiny. I thought it, and now it's come to fruition. I received it. I became aware of it, right? But there was a lot of things I had to do along the way in order to get there. And there was a lot of pitfalls. There was a lot of things that I did that I felt were counter to receiving the things that I want. To receive things, you have to understand that all things are working for your good. You have to accept this concept that even the things that you find difficult, even the things that you think are setbacks, the things that you feel are failures, they're all necessary in order for you to receive the things you want. Think about lottery winners, people who win the lottery for crazy amounts of money. And think of how the majority of them end up not only broke, some even end up dead. Why? Because they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared to go from their financial situation to this new financial situation. See, money doesn't solve problems, right? Especially if you have a poverty mindset. If you're not in the right space mentally to be able to deal with all of the responsibility that comes with having all of that money, then you work just as hard as you did to buy those tickets and figure out the right numbers. You'll work just as hard to get rid of that money because it didn't change anything. All it did was provide you more opportunity to live out the lifestyle and the mindset, not the lifestyle, the mindset that you had already been living. So sometimes receiving things happens over time because we're actually being prepared to receive the things that we ask for. So I ask, I believe, I receive. I envision it so that I can experience it. I have faith that it's already mine, and then I display gratitude along the way, right? So that means that I'm going to enter into a season of preparation. I'm going to enter into a season of just appreciation because, again, it's on the way, right? Where do these come from? These dreams, these hopes, these desires? Well, I believe what the Bible says is that God will give you the desires of your heart. I think that the things that we really want are inside of us. It's not the things that we see. It's not the things that we're influenced by. There's a lot of things I see, but I say I want it, but am I really willing to go through what it takes to get it? No, not really. At some point, I'm like, you know what? It's not even worth it. I'll give you a perfect example. Some of the restaurants in Houston, especially some of the brand new ones, once a restaurant becomes extremely popular in Houston, the line becomes ridiculous. I mean, it's like everyone in the city, everyone in the surrounding areas has decided they want to have breakfast at this place or they want to have dinner at this place. And so now you have this long wait. And I'm the type of person where I have yet to taste a dish, a particular food that is worth me standing in a long line to sit down and eat. It's just not worth it to me, right? But on the flip side, I had an opportunity recently to see Oprah Winfrey speak, and there was a long line, but it was worth it. What I had to do in order to get what I wanted was worth it. So it was in my heart to go see her. I had a desire to do it, right? They come from my heart, the dreams, the hopes, the desires. But then in order for me to exercise this process, the go get it process, my dreams, hopes, and desires have to meet 3 criteria in order for them to be worthy to me or to anyone else. One, I have to believe that it's possible, that it can happen to me. I can have this. It's definitely within the realm of possibility. I also have to believe that it's probable that not only could it happen, but it probably will. It most likely will. That's important as well. And then this is a kicker. It has to be practical. Now, with this one, when I say practical, I don't mean practical to everyone. I mean practical to you, right? In your mind, this makes sense. I can have this, right? Now, that won't be a shared experience. I'll give you an example. The Wright brothers. To say I want to fly like the birds in the sky. I want to create some type of contraption, some type of machine. I want to engineer something that is going to allow me to move through the sky like a bird. For some people, they would say, that's not practical. That doesn't make sense. And again, I go back to my friend. Her daughter wants to sing. She wants to be a professional singer. Now, my friend doesn't believe that that's possible. She doesn't think that's within the realm of possibility. She thinks it's 1,000,000 to 1 shot, and it's never going to happen. She also doesn't think it's probable. Not only is it can't happen, it ain't gonna happen to her. And then finally, she doesn't think it's practical, right? She thinks that getting a degree, with a job that's safe and getting a paycheck on the 1st and 15th, that's more practical for her. So for her, these dreams, hopes, and desires don't make sense. And it's the same thing for you. In order for your dreams, hopes, and desires to make the transition to a goal that you ask for, believe for, and then be in the preparation to receive for, it has to be possible to you. It could happen. It has to be probable to you. Not only could it happen, it's probably going to happen to me. And then finally, it's got to be within the realm of it has to be practical to you. It has to be a practical concept that you believe that it's possible. You believe that it's probable. And you don't need anyone to co-sign that. You don't need anyone to say, yes, I agree with you. That's all on you, because here's the thing. You're the only person that's going to go through this process. You're the only one, right? Now, in the receiving stage, you will receive influence, you'll receive opportunity, you'll receive people with resources that are going to come into your life to help you receive the things that you want, right? Which is why gratitude, again, is so important, because not only are you grateful for the things that you receive, you're grateful for the people, the resources, the opportunities, all of the things that help you get from point A to point B. Right? So what stops these? I kind of talked about it when I talked about these, but it's doubt. I just don't believe it's going to happen. Disbelief, or disbelief of not just you, but of other people, allowing people to influence you. And then the big one, impatience. I'm just not patient. I want it right now. And if it doesn't happen now, then I'm convinced that it's not going to happen. When it comes to the dating world and marriage and love, this one right here kills so many dreams. So many dreams. We become so impatient because we're seeing other people around us who are experiencing what we want. And we start to ask the question, why not me? Well, I have a way to flip that, okay? And it goes back to gratitude. In order to strengthen your faith that what you have asked for, you're going to receive, gratitude is one of those things that are going to push you into the next level. You're thankful not only that it's coming and that you're going to get it, and that even when you get it, you're grateful for the opportunities to witness other people experience it. It strengthens your faith. Cheering for other people and seeing other people excited about all of the things that are happening in their lives, and the positive things that they're going through, and their dreams coming true, their goals being achieved, experiencing that and being close to it, all that does is it makes it easier for you to envision it. You see what it's like to have a house for the very first time because you're there at the housewarming. You see what it's like to have the love of your life because you're there celebrating at the wedding. You see what it's like to drive a Bentley, because you see the person, you're washing it, you're experiencing it, and it strengthens your faith, and it makes you more grateful when you receive it. Right? So the desires of your heart. You have created a goal. You know it's possible, probable, and practical. You do not allow doubt, disbelief, or impatience to deter you. You've asked for it. You can see it. You believe in it. You have faith. Receive it, and you're grateful. Now what? Generosity. What generosity says is everything that I've received, Everything that I got is just an opportunity for me to bless other people. I'm blessed to be a blessing. And here's what happens. The more you give, the more you receive. It, it's like, I always called it the greatest Ponzi scheme ever created. One person gets blessed, and then from that blessing, three people get blessed. From their blessings, 3, 6, 9 people get blessed, and so forth and so on. And those blessings don't stop as long as people are generous with the things that they've been blessed with. By hoarding the things that you've been blessed with, by hoarding your achieved goals, then all you're really doing is robbing yourself of opportunities to get more. As you receive, envision that you're getting things and they're being put in your hands for you to hold, and you're only going to have so much space. And at some point, you're going to say, what? Okay, stop. That's enough. Right? You're limiting that which you can receive. However, if every time you receive something, right, you're generous with it, not giving it all away, but giving some of it away, or at least using it to create opportunities for other people to give, then you get more. And you never experience that, you have too much, because it's all just coming and flowing through you. You're just a conduit for other blessings. You get it, you experience it, it satisfies you, you have fun with it, and then you pass it on. And you don't have to worry about where it's going, because by giving, you don't create lack. By giving, you create opportunity to receive, right? But if you stop believing in the process, if you start doubting it, if you're impatient and you've given, now you're sitting there waiting. Where's mine going to come? Well, I gave, but I didn't get anything back, and blah, 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 blah. You're missing the whole point. The reason that the Bible says you should be a cheerful giver is because as you give, you don't see it as lack. You don't see it as you're losing something. You see it as an opportunity to not only bless others, but to be blessed yourself. And the more you're blessed, the more people that you bless, the more people that you are utilized to bless. Remember, this isn't a magic wand, right? You're not going to snap and things come into existence. You receive based on your belief and based on what you envision, but you get it from people who are using their resources, their blessings, their influences, the things that they've got in their life, that favor, that thing that says, you go to the bank and you want to get a loan, and your credit ain't all that great, but yet the person that you're talking to, the mortgage lender, is like, hey, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Here's what you need to do. And I'll keep your contract here. As a matter of fact, call up my frat brother. He does credit repair. He's a little expensive, but tell him that I sent you. He's going to hook you up. You're receiving. Do you have the keys to the house yet? No. But now you have an opportunity. Now you have influence. Now you have favor, which strengthens your faith. It keeps you faithful and believing that what you ask for, you're going to get. You just got to be patient. That's it. That's all it requires. Faith, patience can move mountains. You can do anything that you want in life. Do not allow anyone to defer you or separate you from your dreams. I tell my son, dream with audaciousness. Dream just ridiculous dreams. Not because I want him to experience disappointment, but because I never want him to be limited by the things that other people say he cannot do. Now, one question I get, and I'll be done, is this envisioning thing. Tell me, isn't that just imagination? Aren't you just imagining yourself doing these things? No, I don't see it that way. I see imagination as a workshop to take what's in your heart and turn them into dreams and desires. Your imagination is where you craft and create your dreams, right? This part right here, envisioning it, you're not imagining yourself with these things. You've already done that. Now you're experiencing it. You're having emotional and spiritual and mental experience, having what you want, being where you want to be. You can smell the salt in the air. You can feel the sand beneath your toes. You can hear the waves crashing. It is a visceral experience. Why is it so important? Because it strengthens your faith. And as long as your faith is strong, then you'll always be in a position and you're ready to receive, right? But just remember, generosity. Don't hold it. Don't hoard it. Don't feel like if you lose it, you're never going to get anything back. No, make space for more. Make space for more opportunities to receive so that you can be a blessing so that others can do it as well. I hope that clears up my thought process when I say you can have whatever you want. Again, I'm not talking about, a genie in a bottle. I'm not talking about, 3 wishes. I'm talking about a systematic process that we all should go through when are imagining and creating the life that we desire. As long as we stop ourselves from dreaming, as long as we limit our ability to dream, then whatever we get out of life, that's what we ask for. That's what we deserve. Be careful about the things that you say. I'm a big proponent of that. Don't speak negativity in your life. Don't speak lack into your life. Don't speak anything into your life that you don't want, that you aren't hoping for and believing in, because you're gonna get it. You're gonna receive anything that you ask for. The reality is that this faith part, this is just to keep you focused. This is just to keep you patient. If you ask for it, you're gonna get it. So be careful what you ask for, right? Be careful what you ask for, because you will receive it one way or the other. You rob a bank because you want money. You get that money. On the way out the bank, you get caught. You go to jail. You didn't fail. You got exactly what you asked for. It was only for 2 or 3 minutes, but you got it. Have a good one.